Hello, is it from Zetster's Lab? Well, let's grow. Because guess what? How to create a beautiful life? You got to keep growing, expanding. You got to move, you got to learn new things. Oh, it is so important. You know what happens with a river with water that doesn't flow? It becomes dead and it vanished. So remember I told you I did for my first 15 years in my art journey, I only did acrylics, and I must say after a while I was bored. I didn't grow, I became stuck, I was bored, and it was just not fun anymore. Then I got lots of art supplies. I started shopping at charity shops, got art supplies for next to nothing. So all of a sudden I could just play. So a couple of days back, I saw something once again on YouTube or somewhere, and immediately, you know, when it hits me, I want to try that. So I ran up to my room, got some papers, and I found my stamp ink. I bought, I don't know, 10 or something at a charity shop. And I don't really know what to do with it. I don't have stamps. I really think if I get stamps and that little tin thing that you stamp on, it can be fun on my artworks. But now I don't have it. So what I saw was the person was having a paper, and then she put lots of plants on it, and then just through, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was ink or it was a watery thing. It was like an ink. I think it was ink. It could have been acrylic inks. I don't have any. I've never bought acrylic inks. But as I said, I've got this. So I decided, well, let me go and experiment. I want to grow. So I came into my workspace, and I will just show you exactly what I did. I had my piece of paper, then I put lots of plants like this on it, and I just drop pieces of this onto that and let it just move around. But once again, I didn't wait. I really didn't want to wait. So I was spraying water and everything, and then this is what some of my stuff. And then it was so wet and watery that I just took other papers and just pressed it on. But look at my marks. I mean, I didn't work with a plan. I didn't decide I'm going to make flowers or anything. I just wanted to see what's going to happen if I do that. So here you can see this. I think this was one of these ones that I had my plants on. This was really just pressing. You can see my reed there. In a previous video you saw how I pressed the reeds. So my reed and this. So this is what I got. And then I took one of them, the one that was actually in my book, my A4 sketchbook, and I used some. Once again, I got this for free. It's some acrylic paints, slow drying acrylics, and I just never used it, so I just took my finger and I just applied that in between the colors. Then I added some pencil marks and whatnot, and all of a sudden then I also used brown It was on my desk, material paint, just to add a little bit more color, and voila. I mean, really, easier as this you cannot get. But why I actually want to share this with you is I took a little piece of my cloth, and the plants were really very, very wet and colorful. Now take note, I only had the red and the purple. Of all my things I bought, I just have the one green. So I couldn't find that, so I didn't use it. So it's only 2 colors. So I decided to take the wet leaves that was filled with this ink and rolled it up in this. So I haven't looked at this. I have no idea what happened here. I have never ever done this before. So I thought, let you come and join me and just let's unveil this, unwrap this. Well, look at that. You can see the leaves, you can see the reeds, and there you can see them falling out. It is still a little bit wet, so oopsie, it's actually kind of a large piece. The damask, I used the damask tablecloth, a piece of that. Look at this. I mean, what I'm gonna do with this, I have absolutely no idea, but it is gorgeous. Actually, it is really gorgeous. So this is just ink, stamp ink, 2 pieces of plants, whatever I had, and I just roll. Oh yes, I did wet my cloth. I wet my cloth like I usually do, and I just rolled up the the plants that were really very wet with this. So this is it. So you can do it. You can do this on material. Look at the back. It is absolutely gorgeous. You can see real leaves. You can see the stems. There's forms there. Oh man, I think it's beautiful. So I've never done that. So I've grown. I've moved on. I've grown. I'm not the same as before I did this. So that is what art and life is all about. We need to keep moving. You know, I force myself. When I get into a situation and I feel fear, oh, I don't want to do it, I force myself these days to do it. You know, just go for it. Just do it. Just, you know, it's so easy. Nothing is easier than to stay put, to stay in your comfort zone. Oh my gosh, but you know what? Death slowly creeps up on you if you stay in your comfort zone, because there's no expansion, there's no growth, there's no movement. So this is, I don't know, day what in my journey of creating a beautiful life, but I've learned these things. The things that I share with you, I have learned, and some of them were very hard lessons. So the only power that we ever have is the power of what we walked through. I'm not sharing other people's opinions, other people's lives. I can only share my journey, and that is what I'm doing. So this led me to my next thing. So I thought, but you know what? This was kind of nice. And I am gonna do this one too. Oh yeah, yes, I did show you. To do this, the previous one. But then I thought, let's see what's gonna happen if I add some things on it. So my music notes, I add some glue and music sheet, even some of the things I used yarn in my slow stitching, some of the beautiful things that was around the yarn, old things and newspaper clippings and whatever. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna put them there. I'm gonna do it. Okay, but I need to do it like this because this inks, they just seep through the pages. So you know what, I actually found some gesso. I am not 100% sure what it does. I once again, months back, saw that somebody was talking on YouTube about using an ordinary book for your sketchbook and how you can use gesso to make sure that make it waterproof. So I should have done that. And some of my stuff here isn't dry yet. I even put a piece of linen cloth on. So this is not very dry yet. I put now some gesso on. I couldn't get white when I wanted to buy it, so that is see-through. But you know what? I'm gonna take my palette knife. So this is intuitive. I have no idea what I'm doing. So I am just going to add here and there with my palette knife some white acrylic paint because I thought, you know what, this will help guide these inks differently when there was only plants. So this is my beautiful reed again, and I also thought, you know what, I'm just gonna take these old ones that I used, you know, and I am just gonna put them randomly. I don't know, let's do it like this, as if they are really, yeah, I like the little smaller one. So let's take that small one. It's very hot in my little room. So the window is wide open, and now there comes a nice breeze. It is getting a little bit cooler, so it's nice. And I'm a winter person because where we stay, we've got very, very mild winters. So I mean, that's why I'm a winter person, because it's really so lovely, you know, with the hot flushes. So here's my ink. So I am just dropping some inks randomly. And this is my red. As I say, absolutely no preconceived ideas, but every single time that you do something, whatever it may be, creative wise, you grow. And you learn, as I said, here I am now at a different place in my art journey, a place where I've never been. So this is it, but I don't know. Let's say if I pick it up, okay, picking it up, it is running off. Look there, it is a mess, it is running off. And what I actually now want to do, I just want to press. Okay, and if you want to struggle with getting, ink off your hands, then you work like me. I don't care. So once again, I didn't let it dry. Okay, now I just need that not to. I am just letting it stay like this, and then let's see what's gonna happen. So voila, it's definitely different because of all my things that I glued on. Plus it's different because of my gesso and my acrylics. And the green and the blue is now making a beautiful another color. Remember, I only used 2 colors on this. Now I'm using 3 colors, plus the white is still a little bit wet, my acrylic. So things are happening. I am not going to do anything more. This is it. But now you see, this is now typically me. I want to show you how this is, what's happening here. And in order to do that, I need to take my things off. Okay, let me think, because there they are. I'm going to stand up so that you can see how beautiful they are developing. Isn't it gorgeous? Look at that in the sun coming through that little patch. And you see, the minute we become childlike, start to live in the moment, start to just experimenting in and enjoy playing, these things happen. I mean, I am over the moon with these things. My jelly plates in the previous video, oh my goodness, I am absolutely in love with them. I am trying new things, and you guys are really helping me, because I feel, no, not pressurized, not at all. I just feel excited to share it with you. I mean, it's so, sharing is caring, so it's so wonderful to share. I'm taking it off because I am sharing. So there you can see. I am very carefully picking them off. And this close-up is absolutely fantastic. So I have no idea if I'm gonna do something with this or not, or just keep it like that. But I am going to pick it up so that you can see it stopped running. Oh no, it still runs, but let it run. Let's help it. So there it goes. This is mark making at its best. I have absolutely no control what's happening. There are lines, there are stuff. So what I am now gonna do again, and then I am just going to leave it. I'm putting more leaves on, and then I'm gonna press it like I did with the material and leave it for a while, you know, and then I'll show you perhaps in the next video. But now I need to get my real thick paper so that it doesn't go through. Oh, and I just want to, you know where this actually started? Also not a very good idea to do all my things in this book and then I want to show you my process. Oh well, I'm learning. So I was actually looking at a previous thing I did. Oh, I love this. I love this. I did this jelly plate print in my one book. This one, remember? And it went over. It was in the middle there. It went onto both pages. And I thought, oh, this is gorgeous. This is so beautiful. So I decided I'm gonna tear out the pages, glue them onto my book as a painting thing, and then listen what I did. There you could see I glued some leaves on with my music sheets, but I was sitting there on my couch, you know, and I thought, I've never ever done this, work with yarn on paper. And I thought, I am just gonna create a flower with my yarn. And I didn't want to use any real color. I just wanted it to kind of just be like this, you know, just, and oh my word, I love it. So you see, art can come in many forms. Creating can come in any form. This is what I did. I was sitting there, my needle and my yarn were there. I looked at this after I glued it in onto the page, and I thought, what can I do now? And let's make a flower. And there you have it. Added some. I tore it. Yes, I did not cut it. I tore it, the little leaves. I glued it on. Just added some pencil marks and voila. So, do new things. Get out of your comfort zone and just start to enjoy life again. I am now just making sure by putting more and more papers on so that my thing is not seeping through all my other artworks. And this is it. Is it from Zetster's Lab? Well, I hope you are. If you haven't looked at all my other videos, I don't know which number and which day we are on, but you can start at day 1. But this is just day by day as I live my life. I just realize what I've learned in my journey up to now in how to create a beautiful life. Because your life, your happiness, your responsibility. You gotta do what makes you happy. As I told you previously, I was very unhappy. I'm gonna put this somewhere in here too. And just see, perhaps it pulls out more of the ink. I was very unhappy in my life because I was expecting husband, kids, friends, whatever to make me happy, to take me where I want to go. I didn't even know where I wanted to go. You know what what I mean. And then husband, I said, you decide, then he decided, and then I don't want to go there. We put so much pressure on each other. And then one day I got this awesome revelation. We were visiting my son in Cape Town. And he asked me, Mom, what do you want to do? What are we going to do today? And I thought, what would they like to do? What will make them happy? And something just in me just said, no, what do you want to do? He asked you, what do you want to do, Mom? What do you want to do? And I thought, what do I want to do? I wanted to go and play with the cheetahs. They had a cheetah sanctuary, wildlife sanctuary, about 200 meters from his flatlet. I'd never been there. So I said, I want to go and play with the cheetahs. And afterwards, I want to go on a wine tour, wine tasting. That's what I want to do. Guess what? He dropped me off, husband and myself, he dropped us off at the sanctuary. I had a fantastic time. I was inside, I did the tour where you could go into the cages, big areas, and with a guard, and you could touch the beautiful cats and stuff, and it was amazing. I had a most wonderful time. Husband was outside. He didn't want to go inside, but he was happy. He was looking, he was there, he was talking to, oh yes, that was right. You always find someone to talk to. So he was talking, and I was having the time of my life. I think my son had to go and get some glasses, so he went and did his thing. No pressure on him to entertain me, no pressure on husband. And then when he was finished and we were done, we went and to do one or two wineries and did wine tasting. And while they were tasting, I always run around, got to see everything. So I was running around, taking photos of everything, loved it. They were sitting nicely, having their wine, sipping their wines, talking to each other. And guess what? At the end of the day, all of us had a fantastic day. And that is why I learned, I got to do what makes me happy. We got to stop trying to figure out what will make others happy and then try and do that, and then that doesn't work and nobody is happy. So the minute I said what I wanted to do, they could decide in that what they wanted to do. And we had a fantastic time. And that is what I've now learned. When we visit our kids in Thailand, they don't want to go to the night market. It's crazy. You cannot barely walk. There's so many people. Husband really doesn't want to go because the Thai people are very small, so their umbrellas is low. So in 5 minutes, he has bumped his head 3 or 4 times. So then he had enough. So then I'm upset and I try to make sure he's happy. So I'm so focused on him that I know he's really not enjoying it, and I'm trying to make it okay for him, that nobody enjoys it. So I realized, let them stay home. So I had to learn to go on my own. It was very difficult. I was not a person that could do anything on my own. I didn't enjoy it. I was scared. I didn't want to go do things on my own. But I had to force myself in order to create a beautiful life I love. I had to force myself. So I remember the first time I had to take the Uber. So they got the Uber for me. Had my phone and everything. So I said, okay, listen, I'll go. And they got the Uber, they on the app, and they told him exactly where to drop me, so I went. So then all I had to do was, when I come back, I phoned my son, send him a link, or I don't know, I told him exactly, because at that stage I couldn't find the place or a link to send for the Uber to pick me up. I was clueless. So phone him, and he figured it out, and Mom, go there and the Uber will pick you, and I did it. And now it's second nature to me. So whenever I want to go anywhere in Thailand, I don't have to drive, because that's crazy. I mean, where we stay, there's really very little cars. So in Thailand, they drive differently. It's crazy. So no. And my son said, Mom, you are not going on a motorcycle. That is it. He even said, I'm not going on a bicycle, but I overruled him there, and I travel all over on my bicycle, his bicycle. And so I had to learn to find and then do those things that makes me come alive. So as I say, when I visit them, I go on my own to places. They also know, Mom, don't you want to go there or whatever. Sometimes they accompany me, other times they let me go. I'm not upset because they don't want to join. They don't enjoy it, and then I have to worry about them. And I must say, now I'm at the stage where I don't actually want them to come with, because I have learned to, I go into every Buddhist temple and look at everything, talk to everybody. I sit and I sketch in my sketchbook, and I just walk around in the streets, go everywhere, take so many photos. It's so funny. One day I got back, and Zach, my grandson, Oma, what did you buy? I said, I didn't buy anything. I just walked. Oh yeah, I do buy food. Oh my goodness, I love to try different things. So in the night market, I eat the whole kilometer of stalls from the beginning to the end, try everything. But I'm no longer a shopper. I don't shop for the sake of shopping. I've got enough. I've got more than enough. I'm trying to get rid of all my stuff. So that's how you create a beautiful life for you. Find out what you like, what makes you come alive, and then you got to force yourself to do it and not expect others to do it for you or make you happy or whatever. So love you lots. Is it let's see what's happening here. What is happening here? You see, it is developing. There are more things going on here. You can see how they're pressing on that side. But I'm going to keep this on here and let it really dry, because I am sure the leaves are going to pull the ink from the page at some places. So it's going to be a different effect. Oh, but you can see I love what it did there on the material, and it did something different everywhere. Okay, it's now pulling off some of my paints, but that's also fine. So thank you for joining me on my journey to create a beautiful life. Love you lots. Is it from Zetster's Lab? And if I can, you can. That is another thing. This is very, very simple things. Really, you don't have to make life so, that's what I also learned. I don't have to make life so difficult. Just become like a child and just enjoying life again. The life in me, the life in you, the life all around. It's there for our enjoyment, but we forgot that. And now we struggle to get life to turn out our way, and it never does, and we're miserable and depressed, and we just gotta let go and just start to use every situation that we find ourselves in for our good. And what I mean with that is just, what is it teaching me about me? You know? Oh, I'm very, very, what if something happens and you're frustrated and you're angry, why? Because life isn't turned out as you want. As simple as that. So let go of your preconceived ideas and learn to go with the flow of what's happening and make peace with your journey, with what is happening, and find your peace and joy in the moment of what is happening. As I say, I was sitting outside this morning and I was drinking my coffee, and I was reading some of my true things that comes onto my Facebook or things, and the joy that just welled up in me when I heard a little bird singing, because I sensed the abundant life in that bird. It's the same life that's in me and in you, and that life is just magnificent, abundantly beautiful. And we've missed that. We miss it because we're not present in the moment. We're either in some make-believe world of vain imaginations of what can happen and what cannot happen in the future, or we're back in the past dragging things that happened into our present, and we miss the life. I missed the life so many times when I'm busy, preoccupied with my mind. Then I miss the little bird singing, or the wind blowing, or whatever. Love you lots.